Hello, everyone. I'm Bukky the CEO at Expedient Expatriate Services. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have very delightful and interesting conversations right here on this couch, and we're going to be having it with my coffee. Over the years, we've heard the narrative about having a marketing budget as business owners, the importance of having a marketing budget. Because the truth is, if you start a business, how are people going to know you've started this business? Most of us started businesses in our bedrooms, in our homes, in little confined spaces. There is no way anybody would know about that business. No matter how brilliant your idea is, nobody is going to know if you don't put the word out there. And that is why it is important for us to have these marketing budgets in our businesses. And there's been a lot of sensitization about the importance of it, how we should have a good marketing budget, amongst other things, just to promote our businesses and let the world know that this business exists. That is great. But I'm here to talk about another critical budget that we need to put into our businesses right from inception. Because as a human resource person, we see these things happen time and time and time again. And honestly, it's time we start putting the word out there, sensitizing people about the importance of having, guess what? A training budget. You guessed right, exactly. We sometimes as business owners just think, oh, I've hired so many employees. I have a full complement of employees. I don't need to have a training budget. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, you need a training budget. Training budgets are just as important as having a marketing budget, because guess what? Learning is ongoing. It is continuous. It's not a one-off thing. How do we come about this training budget? First of all, you have to look at the complement of your employees, the complement of your staff, and find out what the gap have a gap analysis done on them. Find out where the gaps are within the team. Because what a lot of people don't know is it actually costs money to hire employees. There's a lot of money that goes into it and a lot of time. And as we know, time is money. So the importance of having, that gap analysis done is very critical to the success of your business. We're at the beginning of the year. We've all signed our KPIs. We're all excited. We're gingered. We're ready to hit the ground running. But guess what? A lot has changed between Christmas and now. Even from January to February, life is constantly changing. There's improvement in technology. Now everybody's talking about artificial intelligence, etc. If you don't have a gap analysis done on your team, you will find out that maybe the team is not productive during their quarterly or half-year appraisals. They are not meeting their targets and so many other issues. So I encourage us to have that gap analysis done at the beginning of the year. That would inform what we're even putting in their KPIs for their personal development plans, and also enabling us to come up with a defined budget for the training. Trainings are not something that we do as a one-off. I'm also an accredited facilitator, and I go into organizations all the time to facilitate trainings. And I try to encourage the organizations, the leaders in these organizations, that this training cannot be a one-off. What is the post-training plan actually after that? We need continuous improvement. We must continuously continue to train ourselves and our employees. Once that gap analysis is done, we can see clearly, and we can come up with practical trainings that can help close those gaps. Many of us feel like, oh, it costs too much money, it costs this, we don't have a budget for it, X, Y, and Z. That's fine. But if we had planned for it at the beginning of the budget year or at the beginning of our financial year, then we would have found a way to accommodate our trainings into our budgets. Once the gap analysis is done, we can see clearly that there needs to be training done for these employees. It will cost you more money to bring in a new employee by saying, oh, for example, Bukola, you're not meeting your KPIs. I think you should leave the organization. Your service is no longer required. That's fine. Some employees do need to leave the organization for a plethora of reasons. But that's not why we're here today. We're talking about the employees that you've seen that have the ability to grow the business, that have the commitment, the drive, they're ambitious, they're willing. Those are the employees we want to invest in. And I can tell you that investing in them with training would help the business grow significantly. If, for example, we decide to keep firing everyone, We would no longer be in the business of, for example, human resources. We will now be in the business of hiring and firing, even though that is kind of the business of human resources. But you get the idea. So I encourage us all to come up with this training budget at the beginning of the year and put it into our employees' personal development plan. Because if you invest in your employees, that way you're having less employee turnover, which is very rampant in our society. We feel like I'm the owner, and I'm talking to business owners, entrepreneurs here. I'm the owner of the business, I'm the CEO, I'm the managing director. No, that's not the idea. A good leader raises other leaders, you develop other leaders. So it can't be about you alone. And then when you want to scale your business, you cannot do it alone either. So the plan is have that training budget at the beginning of the year, implement it into their KPIs as part of their personal development plans, and continue to upskill and train them. It cannot be a one-off. I started off talking about a marketing budget. Most times we continue to add into our marketing budget. Oh no, now we need to do billboards. Oh no, now we need to do sponsored ads. Oh no, now we need to do this. And nobody ever has issues with that. We're always happy because we see immediate gratification. The orders start to come in. So we're happy to spend on a marketing budget. But with a training budget, it's almost like, these employees, they will cuckoo soon leave. No, that's not the idea, please. I'm trying to change our mindset concerning training and personal development, capacity building. Build the capacity of your team and watch wonders happen. Once they're able to identify the gaps, the talent, the gaps in their productivity, in their talent, then you can come up with nice implementation plans for the trainings that will actually help close those gaps. Unfortunately, with trainings, you don't see immediate gratification. Those changes take time, and that is why trainings cannot be a one-off. They cannot be a one-off. I plead with business owners to please try and have yearly training budgets. Don't look at it from a perspective of, oh, what if they leave? There are creative ways we can talk about as to how to make sure your employees are engaged and retained, because everyone wants to have a high retainership of employees. So how do we calculate this training budget? Again, it's based on the gap analysis you've done. Obviously, businesses range from size to size, industry to industry. Trainings can be industry specific, but sometimes the gap that is missing, the capacity gap that we've identified, is in something like time management, something that simple. So soft skills, we can start by encouraging us to have more soft skills trainings in the workplace, because that way, when you are able to structure your time properly, you find out that you're able to actually do and achieve more. It's very important that we understand the essence of training your employees. Bringing in a new employee is great because sometimes we do need to let the bad eggs go. But guess what? You're probably going to be paying that new employee more than you were paying the previous employee. You're going to have to spend money to bring that person on board. So the cost of attracting talent into an organization, by the time you do the math, because when he or she comes, he or she still has to be onboarded to the organization. That also costs money. So I plead with you all to consider having a training budget, a yearly training budget that you can use throughout the course of the year for your employees. And you'll be happy that you listened to Bukky when she said so. Thank you very much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye.